welcome to NEK-TV Rocks, and my guests today are
Kellie Jenkins, Director of Ready, Set, Grow.
And Jamie Willis, Program Manager of Ready, Set, Grow Child Care Center.
and the Ready, Steady, Grow Childcare Center is just around the corner from the studio.
So Ready, Set, Grow is located off of Farrant Street in Newport. It's the old teddy bear factory,
Right.
and that's what people usually know it as.
That's actually a really nice thing to say. My kids go to the teddy bear factory.
Yeah.
It's sort of really cool.
Yeah, and we still have a part of the building that has the old existing paint. Kind of like there was like some bear footprints and some clouds and things on the wall. So we have a portion of the building that's still.
And do you have any of the teddy bears?
We don't.
Oh, that's a shame.
We should get some.
We should.
Anyway, last time I had somebody from NEKLS, NEK Learning Services. Apparently it was 5 years ago, although I would have sworn it was only 2 years ago. And that was just before you opened.
Yep. So we opened the doors September of 2019.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So.
Hard to believe it was that long ago.
Yes.
Anyway, what's changed?
A lot has changed.
So much has changed.
A lot has changed. So lots of new staff, several different directors. I've been the director for the last 2.5 years, almost 3. You know, we've had a lot of great staff come on board, a lot of kids going through our program.
How many kids do you have?
Currently enrolled, we have 71.
Wow, that's
Yep.
a lot.
Yep. So we'll hope to be adding another 8 infant slots in the fall, but keep expanding the building that we have.
Yeah, we just took over the rest of the building because we did have a Head Start program in the same building with us, but they just went and have their own building.
Yep. Over
Where are they
across
going?
town. They're on Lakemont Road now,
Oh, yeah.
over by the hospital. So we were able to expand into the whole building,
Yep.
expanding
Including
our
the
toddler
dog.
program.
There's a dog part next to it.
Yep, they're down at the corner of the building.
Okay, they're staying.
Yep, they're
Yes.
staying. Yes.
That made me laugh the first time I saw that. I thought, oh yeah, dog grooming and kid care.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
it's worked out quite well.
Yes, it's
They're really
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, so we've been able to expand our toddler program, and we'll be able to expand our infant program this fall by opening up another classroom.
How do you define infant?
6 weeks to 12 months.
Wow.
Yep.
yeah.
And
so
how
it's
many
a
do you have
young
currently?
infant. For that age group, we only have six right
currently
now.
enrolled. Yep, but we have 2 coming on right quickly.
Yep, so that classroom will be full. And then, I mean, infants is 6 weeks or birth to 24 months typically,
Yeah.
but we have separate classrooms
Sure.
for the younger infants and the older, more mobile infants. Keeps a little bit more safety with the bigger ones and the
Sure.
little ones still having their tummy time and being able to be on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And particularly as kids have not been in contact with each other for a significant block of time, so they haven't built the usual immune system responses. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids who come to us either haven't been in care before outside their immediate family,
Right.
or haven't been in center-based care. So it is a little bit different. So there is a little bit of a learning curve with any of the kiddos just being acclimated to center-based care, and all the unfortunate sicknesses that they'll contract just by being
As we all did.
with all kids. So
As
Yep,
we
I
all
mean,
did.
We keep on it as much as we can with our cleaning routines and things like that. Maybe someday getting a Zono machine back, that would be
Yes.
great.
yes.
Looking into grants and things like that. A Zono machine is something you can put your toys into and start it on a sanitizing cycle, and it will just sanitize all your toys. So you don't have to, you know, soak them in a Lysol mixture and then rinse them and then dry them and
Right.
all of that.
That would be certainly time saving.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you can do it more frequently instead of just
Right.
once a week.
Right.
So you're currently taking kids basically from birth to school age.
Yes.
Do you have them at kindergarten age, or are they expected to go into school?
So currently, we do have 6 enrolled school agers, so that's kindergarten and up to age 12. And we will be ending that, unfortunately, this fall to be able to support our pre-K and toddler programs. That's where we see our biggest need currently. And so that's where we're going to be able to expand. So right now we do have kindergarten and into school age kiddos.
Right.
Yep.
So those kids, because kindergarten's usually only part of a day in school.
Now it's full day. Yep. Yep. So we have them, they get off the bus with us there right at the center.
Yeah.
And then school vacations and summer, they're with us. And we've had those school age kids for probably most of them through pre-K, and some of them even from infants all the way up.
Wow.
Yep.
So for a lot of the kids, it's really home because they've been with you right from the get-go.
Yep. And they're usually with us at least 9 hours a day, Monday through Friday, for most of the kiddos, and then they get to go home and come back the next day. So we become a second family, and we're very close with all of our families because a lot of it is, working with the families, not only for their childcare needs, but anything else that comes up for them, and making sure they're supported however they need to be.
Yeah, because whatever's happening at home impacts on the child, and that comes in then to you. And you're really giving them a great foundation for school.
Yeah.
Yeah, our focus at Ready, Set, Grow is social and emotional development. And that is to give them the skills to be able to function in public school when they get to public school, to be able to regulate themselves, recognize other people's emotions, social cues, things like that. Just giving them the foundation to be able to enjoy learning and be a part of the group. And studies have found that creates less struggles once they, go through public school or private school, grade school, if you will, and into adulthood. We focus a lot also on the staff, building their social and emotional skills, their regulation, so that we can teach the children that, because it's hard to teach something that you can't practice.
Sure is.
Yeah. So a lot of the work that we're doing with the support of Michelle Maitri-Medina, who's our social emotional wellness guru, through the Strengthening Families grant, is a lot about the social emotional development with the staff, getting them to be ready to regulate and help the kids regulate themselves. A lot of the work is around connecting before you correct. So it's not about, discipline or anything like that. It's about connecting with the kiddo, being with them, sitting with them in it, and helping them through it in the way that that individual kiddo needs. So it's really individual based. It's in the moment monitoring and coaching and mentoring. A lot of it really is getting them ready to just be a functioning person in society. And so that's kind of what sets us apart, I feel like, from other programs, is that we're really starting on a different path and working with the adults to make them ready and skilled to be able to support these kids. So we're about 2 years into it, I think, and we're seeing some really great growth from all of our staff.
Is anybody seeing this as a, quote, research opportunity and doing follow-up?
Yep. It's
That's
definitely
great.
research-based. It's brain-based. It's, lots of data-driven. What are you doing? How are you doing it?
Right.
And the Strengthening Families grant that we get is through the state of Vermont, correct?
Yes.
So we have to send in our reports to them on what's been done, what our enrollment looks like, what family events we're providing, education we're providing to staff and to families, so that can be tracked through the state for the grant.
It would be really cool if you could do a follow-up in the schools when they go to school to track the kids who've been through your training
That would
as
be
they
really
go
cool.
into school, and compare them in a way, I mean, not technically, but at least see how differently they operate from kids who haven't had this benefit.
Right. And it's similar to like early intervention services, getting it in early and supporting them before other things come up, because if they have those base skills, then they're not going to need that prolonged specialized support.
Yeah, it's what we used to call, quote, front loading.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Definitely,
And that got
absolutely.
so little support, which
Right.
for me made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. I think Michelle calls it discipline on the front side. So like you're teaching them all the different things prior to anything becoming a concern point or a
Yeah.
safety issue. So I think we're seeing a lot of growth even in the kids, definitely already. And it's a different feel. We're definitely actively trying to do different. Work in progress for sure.
Sure.
Every day we are finding new things that we could be doing better or different. You know, but I think we're all on board with it, and we're all like moving in that forward progress. So.
Yeah, I mean, one of the hard things, one of the many hard things about providing childcare is how badly childcare workers get paid, which is just
So,
not okay.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really isn't.
Our parent organization, Northeast Kingdom Learning Services,
Yeah.
our executive director, Michelle Fost, we have done a lot of work around that part because we know that that field in general isn't highly paid, as well as it should.
Grossly underpaid.
Correct.
It's not even about high pay.
Correct.
It's underpaid.
So we, you know, what are the different benefits and things that are, you know, added to staff?
Yeah.
We increased our wage scale, so no one will be paid less than $16 an hour. Again, it's a starting point. You know, scale can go up from there, but it's a starting point.
I mean, we just got the new scale
Yes.
and implemented those, and I would say it's comparable now to what people are making in Chittenden County.
That's good.
So when I was working down there and I moved up here, I took a $6 pay cut. And
But the
now
cost of living didn't go down.
the cost of living didn't go down. It was because of location. And now I'm making almost the same amount, like comparably.
But we know it's a work in progress, and we
Yeah.
know that, you know, our employees deserve definitely more than just a livable wage. So,
But you
trying to
settle
work
for a
with them.
living wage. most
Right,
of-
exactly. So we're definitely
But that's-
mindful of that.
Yeah, that should not be a compromise.
Yeah, so we're definitely mindful of that. We definitely hear the staff, you know, and try to support them the best that we can with all of different benefits that could come into play.
Right.
So.
And the training, ongoing training that you all need to get
Yeah.
to stay current.
Yep. So professional development hours per every year, 15 per staff person. We do a lot
We're
of
pretty
work.
lucky
Yes.
because we do have Michelle,
Yep.
who does a lot of our training on our in-service days. She organizes it with someone.
With Building Bright Futures.
Building Bright Futures.
Yeah. So does a lot of work with them to be able to sponsor our professional development. And it's been a lot around the social emotional pieces.
And that cost
strength-based.
doesn't fall on our staff anymore.
Right. In previous years, and maybe even other centers, it's a requirement for staff to individually go out and get their own professional development hours completed. It could be at a high cost at some points.
Yeah.
And so those are like the back end benefits of we have this embedded. It's no longer a cost to you.
Yeah.
You know, childcare tuition benefits from that. You know, just different things that like we could help staff with. And it's not just a monetary benefit either.
No.
It's support pieces. So even if there's something going on personally in our staff's life, we're connected with them. You know, Michelle is an advocate about like making sure the whole person is coming to work and the whole person is supported.
Right.
You know, and I think that's really important because we can't leave baggage at the door. You know, and some people think that that's what employers need.
Yeah,
but
it would be really nice if we could just take it off and
yeah,
drop
it's not
it.
reality. So we
No,
support
of
where
course
they're
it's
at,
not.
just like the kiddos. We support them where they're at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so important that if you're going to be responsible for an enormous chunk of a little person's life, that you have all of the skills that you need.
Yep.
And for parents who have no choice but to put their kids in daycare or some sort of care, it's so hard to evaluate that and to really look for it because, you know, you've got to do what you've got to do.
Right. And for parents, we've had parents, like we have tours. So they come in for a tour and check out the center and we talk all about all of our programs and what we do. And You know, like we want to make sure that it's the right fit for the parent,
Right.
and the right fit for the kiddo. And some kiddos really thrive in the center base, and some kiddos really need a smaller home base. So it's working with the families, the incoming families or potential families, on what works for them, what's best for their, you know, situation. So a lot of talking on the front end of things.
Yeah, there are some countries that pay for a year of childcare at home. In other words, they pay for the parents to stay home or a parent to stay
That
home.
would be super nice.
It would be wonderful, but that's not reality here.
Yeah, and thankfully, we do receive subsidy, and so that's been a huge help, especially with the recent increases and the upcoming increase in the state subsidy funds for families. So that's been great, both for the families and for our program as well.
Right. What is the cost of your program for a parent?
Yeah, so we have different rates. So for private pay, it's anywhere from an infant for, I think, $349 a week to the school agers, which I believe is like $275, and so in between there for the toddlers and preschoolers. But there's different things if you have, you know, if you're not receiving assistance from the state for subsidy or employers, we do have quality childcare discounts for picking a quality childcare program.
Which is
About 25% discount for picking a quality childcare program. You know, employees get a 10% discount on their kiddos' care, subsidy, you know, all these different things at play for sure.
Yeah. So people should not stay away because they see the price list and think,
Come
I
talk
can't
to
even
us,
begin to
see
afford
what's your
that.
situation.
Right.
People might think that, oh, I don't qualify for state subsidy. I don't, but you may.
You may,
So it's
right.
worth. We always encourage applying first. Check it out.
Yeah.
You know, even
every
if
little
it's
bit helps when it comes to such a high cost.
Yes. So we always encourage it.
Yeah, I mean, kids are expensive.
They are.
I wish that wasn't so, but they are.
And you know, it's a full day program. It's a 9-hour day.
Right.
For kiddos. We do breakfast, lunch, and a PM snack that's included in the cost of tuition. You know, we are outside at least 60 minutes a day, including our infants, our youngest babies, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's going out and just having some tummy time outside on a blanket or a safer space. We're definitely like, you know, outside,
That's
play,
great.
engage, and we're right by the lake. So it's
Yes.
gorgeous, and we have this great little eagle family that like lives in the trees behind it, so they always, you know, check those out. But it's really great, and the train, the kids love the train. It's just so many different things that are beneficial.
It's one of the most exciting parts of the day for the
Yes.
2-year-olds.
Yes.
Is when
I
the train
bet.
goes
Definitely,
through.
definitely.
They all go home saying they want to drive trains.
Yes, yes, yes. But yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest challenges are?
Staffing, because you know we're at a place right now where we can be a little pickier
Sure.
with our staff. You know, were hard times where it was kind of like, okay, you're qualified, we accept you for this position, or we're going to offer you this position, but maybe their values didn't quite align with ours when it comes
Right.
to growing ourselves to grow the children. And now we are at a place where we can be a little pickier and make sure like our values match because we don't want it to be high turnover.
Right.
We want to make sure that everybody is there for the right reasons and willing to put in the work to meet the needs of the center and the needs of the families and children.
We're definitely looking for people to be on the bus for, you know, wanting to invest in themselves and wanting to invest in the profession and to be with us as a community of people. So definitely staffing has been something we are able to look into a little deeper, like have those conversations on the front end in these interviews, like this is where we're at. Does this something that sounds like it aligns with you? You know, their ideas of what best practice looks like, things like that. So we're definitely being more
Right.
mindful about what that looks like. And bringing on people who don't just meet the qualifications.
Yeah. I mean, certainly questions like, do your values align with ours, are a little mind-blowing, probably
Right.
for some people, because
Yeah.
that's not how most
We're
people are
actively
hired.
doing things different. We're
Yeah, it's
actively doing
great.
things
It's
different.
great.
And that's the part that like people don't understand maybe, because it's not about consequences and timeout. And like a lot of those old school ideas, it's like, okay, so like what happened here? Like let's learn from the situation. Let's figure out what we could do different or how we could be helpful. You know, all of those little things.
Yeah, and you know, just getting down and connecting with the kid, or the children, or even the families, and being like, okay, let's, you know, just sit here for a little bit. Let's, you know, do deep breaths. Let's calm before you can have the discussions of what went wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
What did we learn from this? What can we do differently?
And framing it as we,
Yeah.
as opposed to, you horrible kid, what did you do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is awful.
Right.
But
right.
that's the way
a
it
lot of
was.
old school, for sure.
I mean,
You
many
know,
of us have had school experiences like that over
Yeah.
the decades.
Definitely. And I think a lot of like the staffing right now where we're at, we're looking for, you know, per diem on-call subs. So definitely, you know, people who maybe have some different jobs and have some time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, can take a phone call on a Tuesday early morning, like, hey, are you available to be in our, you know, toddler classroom today? You know, we're definitely looking for those kind of substitutes right now. But we do have some a great full-time staff currently, and in the fall we'll be looking for 2 additional infant teachers. So lots of progress, lots of expanding. We're still in construction mode a little bit. You know, we're always trying to improve and do better and different. You know.
Yeah. I think I'm
It's been
pretty
fun.
proud of our staff that we have right now.
Yeah. We do have some
Especially
good
we
staff.
had we just had 2 staff originally, but we actually hired someone out of the program as the Step Up to Childcare
Yes.
program
Yes.
through NEKLS.
Yeah, so the Step Up to Childcare program is basically a prep course. So say you aren't sure about the early childhood field, but maybe you want to try it or don't have a lot of experience in it, or don't have the certificates that would get you in the door. The Step Up to Childcare program, which is run through Northeast Kingdom Learning Services. Annie Cristoni is the go-to person for that. It's basically going to help get them the certificates that they need to be in the field, and a lot of the social emotional aspects, not only for work with the kids, but work as a professional in this role. And so last fall, they did a cohort of that, and we were able to have, I believe, 3 of their participants do training time with us, and we hired 2 of them full-time, and they've been great. They've been great. It's learning as you go. It's giving the opportunity to know more and do more. And so this fall they'll be running it again, and that's open enrollment. So people can, you know, contact Annie for that. And we're excited to see what that looks like. I hear that there's definitely an interest in it so far.
Do you
but it's
have
good.
interns from other programs in the area, like nursing or early education?
So we've partnered with the North Country Human Services Program. Previously, it was the Early Childhood Program under Heidi Santaw. So we've had several of her staff over her students over the last 3 years since I've been there. They come and do some hours with us and kind of get their toes in the water of what age group they might want to work with. They also do trainings with other schools too, so if they want to do kindergarten or school age. So it's really cool to kind of see what that looks like. And we actually have hired, I believe, 2 of her former students. And so they had gone through that program when they were in high school, and we had since hired them as well. So
Would think that social work students might be interested in your program too.
it definitely would be of an interest, I'm sure. It's definitely a lot of social work. It's definitely.
We've also had somebody who was working on putting her portfolio together for her teaching licensure come in and do observations in the classrooms, do a couple of lesson plans.
We've had 2 of those.
getting permission from families to do video recordings and things like that for their portfolio. So we've been able to offer that opportunity for some people who are working on
their higher education pieces.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely open doors to like supporting everyone.
Yeah.
As much as we can.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're growing healthy children and adults and families and the community by all of this, doing all this work. That's what we're doing. We're growing healthy people.
Are you able to have sort of family groups there too?
Yeah, so that's one of the Strengthening Families frameworks that we're going to be having. We have family events currently, but we're going to be having more focused or targeted, like, you know, groups and meetings like that.
Yeah.
Because the skills that you all are practicing and teaching and working with the kids are not the skills that most families grew up with.
No.
You know, kids are seen and not heard, or taught to be heard in ways that are not useful.
So yeah, we'll have some upcoming like family nights where we'll pick a topic and be able to talk through it with families, give them information, things like that. And then we have our normal family events, whereas we invite the families to come and join us for an Easter egg hunt or something like that, something where the families can mingle and make connections with each other to broaden their support systems.
How do people find out about you? Where can they go for more information? Like workshops you're going to offer and training opportunities, as well as how to get your small person involved in one of your programs.
Yeah, so Northeast Kingdom Learning Services has a Facebook page.
Yes.
And any of our stuff is shared on their Facebook page. We also have the NEKLS website, which we have a section on there as well.
That's northeastkingdomlearningservices.org.
Yes. And then, I mean, we always encourage just stop in.
Stop in, say hi,
Yep.
meet some people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's partly how this happened today, because I came in to buy a raffle ticket.
Yes.
And I thought, wow,
Yes.
this has grown.
Yep, part of our fundraising committee, we just completed one of our raffles. And then, Jamie, do you want
I
to share
didn't
about
win.
the golf tournament? I didn't either.
Oh,
I didn't either.
well, that's sad.
So we do actually have another fundraiser coming up. It's our second annual golf tournament that will be held at the Orleans Country Club on July 20th. If anybody's interested in creating a team, it's 4-person teams.
I am
It
not
was
a
so
golfer.
much fun.
I don't golf.
It was so much fun.
It was a
I'm
lot
sure
of fun
it was.
being there, though,
Yeah.
meeting a bunch of
Yeah,
people
I bet.
that I wouldn't normally run into outside of work. It's a lot of fun. We sold 50-50 tickets last year.
Yes, we did.
Well,
we
that's
did.
good.
We did drive around the golf cart.
Yes, we did.
Significant money.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
So yeah, if anybody's looking for information on that, they can feel free to reach out to me at Ready, Set, Grow.
Yeah, perfect.
So social media, call your main office.
Yep.
Do you actually? I've seen stuff in the local paper too.
Occasionally,
about
yep,
it,
that will be shared in the local paper.
Yeah.
But I think primarily it's been on the website or on Facebook on the NEKLS page, for
Right,
sure.
and I think NEKLS has somebody who does publicity.
Yep.
Yes.
That Rick?
I believe
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think he's
We
actually
all know Rick here.
I think he's actually putting together a newsletter that will go out, I
Yeah.
think, quarterly
Yeah.
for NEKLS and Ready, Set, Grow, so people
Oh,
can
he must
stay
have
up to
so
date.
much fun taking photographs down at your
He does.
wonderful
He's come
center.
down several times.
Yes.
He does.
Yeah.
He's great. He did the website too and created the separate Ready, Set, Grow link on
Yeah.
it. So it has a little bit more information about our child care
that's great.
program.
Our classrooms, our staff.
Yeah.
Well, we're at the end of time.
Really?
Yeah. We are. So thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for the open invitation to drop in, and I hope people do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it's a program that's really worth seeing.
Yep. And we always encourage coming to check it out. you know, if you want to get your kiddos on the wait list,
Yeah.
definitely put it on.
Planning on having a baby.
Yes, planning on having a baby. We definitely have ones that are even trying just to have a baby on the wait list. It's very important to get on the wait list.
It's sort of like applying for a very exclusive college.
It really is.
But you're
And-
getting
and
that kind of specialized care, which is wonderful.
It's few and far in
And
between.
it's unfortunate because, you know, quality early childhood education is hard to kind of come by.
Yes.
Because the workforce is just not there.
Right.
So getting on a wait list as early as you possibly can, is very important.
We encourage getting
Many
on multiple wait
lists.
lists.
Sure.
Just because, unfortunately, sometimes the age doesn't work out when you put your kiddo on the wait list, and then you're there for a while. You know,
Yeah, it
so-
sort of seems so crazy. I'm not even pregnant yet, but you want me on your
Yeah.
wait list.
Yeah, we've had several that needed to do that, thankfully.
Wow.
And then they've been able to get their kiddo
And then they
in.
could time it perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. This was
Thank
fun.
you for having us.
And I'm really sorry you don't have teddy bears from the teddy bear factory.
We'll get
We should
some.
work on that.
We'll get some.
Yes, you should. That company still exists.
Yes, it does.
Yes, in Shelburne.
I think they need a letter.
We'll get on that.
I could write that.
Thank
I could
you
write
for
that.
coming in.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.